Hey everybody over at movies.com, it's the Schmoes Know Movie Show. I'm Christian.
And I am Mark. Christian, this weekend in theaters we have Pierce Brosnan playing a spy. Now, he's played another spy before that's very, very famous. Here, he stars in The November Man. He's an aging spy, and you definitely don't want to mess with this dude.
No, you don't want to mess with Pierce Brosnan every time he plays a spy, but that's why we were thinking about it. There are a lot of spies out there, a lot of spy movies, but these spies here, the top 5 spies that you don't want to mess with.
That's right, and coming in at number 5 is going to be a guy that you may want to have some yucks with, but you don't want to mess with him when it comes to his job, and that would be Mr. Austin Powers International, Man of Mystery.
And you say, wait, how do you put him? You'd want to mess with him. No, you wouldn't, because first of all, he's got horrendous teeth. Who knows what's going on there? But the fact that
he's probably got some issues downstairs, too, going to the clinic.
He could freeze, and the reason you don't want to mess with him is because he could probably steal your lady. The guy is a ladies' man, and that is why you don't want to mess with Austin Powers.
Yeah, not only him, his dad also, Michael Caine, still does well with the dame. So you got number 4, Christian.
Number 4, you got to go with classic Hollywood, Robert Redford in 3 Days of the Condor. I mean, it's just one of those movies when you think spies. Don't mess with this guy.
Yeah, he was just like this nebbishy CIA dude, and then all of a sudden his fellows get bloody, they get massacred, and then he takes it upon himself to get revenge. And when you can scare Max von Sydow, that's doing something.
Absolutely. So Mark, who's number 3?
Number 3 is a guy who likes to work alone, and maybe one of the reasons that is because he can't remember who any of his friends are. That would be Jason Bourne.
I wanted him high on the list. He's one of my favorite spies of all time. And the guy is just a badass through and through, and you don't want to mess with him, like you said, because he won't remember it, but the next thing you know, he's got you in a rear naked choke, or he's just doing something to you. You're in trouble.
But he doesn't know how he's doing it. He doesn't know why the camera's shaky so much, but he's going to get the job done.
All 3 movies are great. It's really like one great spy thriller.
There's a 4th one, The Bourne Legacy, with Jeremy Renner.
There's 3 of them.
Okay, at number 2, Christian, Ethan Hunt. Now, I think the reason why Ethan Hunt should go a little bit higher than Jason Bourne is because Jason Bourne will go after you by himself against the government's wishes. Ethan Hunt is working for a government occasionally, or even when he's Ghost Protocol, he brings a team with him.
Now, our initial argument as we were going through this list, where I said, well, Jason Bourne doesn't mess up as much as Ethan Hunt does, because a lot of times Ethan Hunt always finds himself in predicaments because he messed up, but then you made a great point.
He climbed the tallest building in the world.
Yeah, in the last one, he did it without a stunt double. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I'll agree with you there. He's a guy you don't want to mess with because he's really clever. You don't know what tricks he's going to pull out, and he's been known to scrap.
I think Tom Cruise is probably a little bit faster than Matt Damon if they're sprinting.
Yeah, number 1. Then the number 1 of all time.
Guess. No, go ahead and pause it and guess.
Come on, you know it. It's the Bond man, James Bond. He has, and there's been so many different renditions of him, but for me, the one that I'm going to say, the one you don't want to mess with, is Daniel Craig, the most recent James Bond, because that guy is dark, brooding. He's got a Jason Bourne thing to him, not the smoother Bond that you know.
I mean, you don't want to mess with him, but are you really going to tell Sean Connery that and say that you'd rather mess with Sean Connery or even Roger Moore than Daniel Craig? Pierce Brosnan, who played the November Man, coming out in theaters this weekend, was also a James Bond. I wouldn't want to mess with George Lazenby. Look, they're all kick-ass spies. Yeah. I think the greatest of all time is still Sean Connery, but you're right, Daniel Craig gets pretty down and dirty.
That's it. That's our list. Who do we get right? Who do we get wrong? List your top 5 spies you don't want to mess with in the comments section below.
Okay, how about Harry Tasker for honorable mention from True Lies? How about Robert De Niro as Sam from Ronin? And maybe you don't want to mess with them, but they're really funny bumbling idiots. That would be Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd in Spies Like Us.
And if you really want to get TMZ, you can talk about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt in the making of the Mr. and Mrs.
I wouldn't want to mess with them. They're in love and they shoot at each other. So if you're their buddy, you're probably going to end up dead.
Man, you missed that joke. All right, so anyway, that is it. That is the list. Hope you go and check out The November Man this weekend.
He's Ethan Hunt. He needs a team around him. I work alone.